And so as I came into the bathroom, the people were laughing. That's right. It sounded like a black American. Then I discovered somebody was stealing my blanket while I was on the train. And we were called between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. Because I came here to take the train around 3 a.m. to the F train. And there's this black American woman. She didn't really say what, she was just mumbling. She walked towards me as soon as I entered the train. And she was holding somebody else's blanket and was pointing towards me. I said, no, I don't know what you're saying. Please stay away from me. And she had this funny smile on her. She had tissue to wipe off, which I understand. I love the bathroom to have tissue. I always report bathrooms not having tissue itself. So I understand if you have an accident. Tissue. Then I woke up this morning and I noticed while I was on the train, there was some black Americans causing commotion while I was also on the train. So I woke up and I came into the bathroom. And as soon as I came into the bathroom, I noticed a black American woman laughing. That's right. Then I looked and said, oh wow, my blanket is gone. I always hide underneath that blanket in the cold. Because it gets so cold. Sometimes as I'm charging my phone in the cold outside, I had it under that blanket. And that seems like a strategic stealing. I think this gang hopes to kill me eventually. But, I have the police kill me as a crazy person. On the bathroom one day, they always setting me up in the bathroom to make me angry. Like a woman was touching herself in the bathroom while standing in the hallway. I'm like, a little kid could come here. And she was like, I can do whatever I want to do. I said, no, a little kid could come here and the parents can go and call the police that somebody in the bathroom is touching themselves. And you may leave and the police will come and kill me. I said, don't send me to be killed. She was like, she doesn't care. She's a grown woman. I said, this is strategic. You're trying to lynch mommy. So my mother said drugs are part of a black American narcotic gang that kill people for money. They lured my mother to come stay with the daughter in 2014 because me and my mother was homeless. And Regana was helping us with the court papers and the police went and killed Regana. The police took her home wrongfully. And in 2014, they killed Regana. The court papers receipt numbers 13 CV5052. So my mother, as soon as she got to Pittsburgh, both of her daughters was abusing her. And one of the daughters would drive her in the backseat of the car and go and crash into somebody's home. So my mother had a heart problem. And I put in the court papers that my mother has a heart problem. And when the police came to remove us, it scared her to death. She almost died. So my mother's address were reading the court papers in Pennsylvania and they were very jealous. And my mother's daughter's husband, Flora, his name is Ayinde, he works for the U.S. military. And we were trying to punch my mother in the house. My mother was saying they were doing all this stuff to scare her. One day my mother said that boy, Ayinde, is a man. Used a dirty plunger to hit her face. Left the bathroom clogged, and my mother told him to flush it to declog the bathroom, and he used the dirty plunger to wipe on my mother's face. And my mother said we tried to beat her up. He's a huge black American man. After abusing my mother, and my mother said when the police is called, they will take sides with him. My mother is the intruder. She needs to go wherever she needs to go to. My mother has a Nigerian accent, so I said the police in Pennsylvnia were taking sides because this guy is black American. So the police finally came and told my mother to leave. No, you can't be here with your daughter. The husband, is complaining. So my mother, then went and stayed with her other daughter, Bolali. And my mother said that one also was telling her she has to leave, And my mother was nobody said that daughter was started poisoning her food with counterfeit poison, And my mother was like, they were just trying to trigger her to have a heart attack. My mother also said whenever it snows, that Bolali has her own house also. But she wouldn't shovel the snow. My mother said before that Bolali used to shovel the snow whenever it snowed. And she didn't know why by 2015, while the lawsuit was going on for me and my mother, my mother could win money. This Bolali was trying to trick my mother and make her fall. Whenever it snows, she will leave the snow outside for many days. So anytime my mother's going out, my mother said, sometimes she almost trips and falls on the snow. They said one day that Flora came to visit her in Bolali's house and tripped on the snow, and they had to call the ambulance to take her away to the hospital. And also that Flora drove my mother in the back seat of the car and hit somebody's house. And my mother said that the Flora did it on purpose. They had to bring the ambulance into that person's house, a different person's house. So there was all this violence directed towards my mother, and my mother said all this violence was intentional. And then this violence started poisoning my mother with counterfeit poison. So my mother finally had enough. She got on the Greyhound bus to come to New York to go to the hospital. On the way here, she started having a heart attack. on the Greyhound bus. So the Greyhound bus pulled over to call ambulance for my mother. But my mother told the bus to keep driving because she didn't want to be sent back to Pittsburgh because she was afraid those daughters may just work with the doctors to kill my mother. You know, so my mother said she was eating aspirin in the bus. So my mother is a medical worker herself, so she knew eating aspirin would lower the heart attack. This was May 13, 2015. So the Greyhound bus driver, I don't know you. It was just based on the information I got after my mother died. So if you're still alive, Greyhound bus driver, you can testify, and 911 records can show you called 911 while you were driving the bus from Pittsburgh, PA to New York. On the way, a woman was having a heart attack. That's my mother. She's now dead. You know, and she told you to keep driving. She was afraid of her daughters. She didn't want to be sent back to Pittsburgh. You know, so that would be an independent proof, you know, of what occurred. And also I'm under FBI surveillance. Since my mother brought me in 2000, the FBI put on for surveillance because I was arrested by immigration. They said there was something wrong with my visa. So everything I'm saying is collaborated by my mother's also, because I always speak without the phone. I always speak out to her in person. And I said the FBI put you on surveillance. They are recording your phone, and through your phone also they are recording any statement you made to people in general, because that phone tap is able to tap your surroundings. So even if you're not talking on the phone, as long as you have your phone on you, they can record whatever noise they're hearing. You know. So, and the FBI refused to arrest the daughter. Even sometimes that only come here also. So she and a narcotic gang are arresting me, and as a Black American basketball player, Damon Lillard. You know, I noticed he tried to entice me online. He was acting like he was humanitarian. There's this guy named Wallow. I don't know how to say their name. On Instagram, so he appeared on the show. I noticed that guy also. Wallow. I saw me in Brooklyn. I know, you know, that one was also trying to entice me. He will be posting messages. I used to be in prison. He used to be in prison, and now he's trying to live his life free, you know, and stuff. And one thing about that while I noticed it kind of looked like my father, my late father. So I was like, okay, well, what is this about? This Black American talking about, he used to be in prison and now he's a motivational speaker, whatever. So I used to watch his videos on Instagram. I used to bring guests. I guess those guests were just trying to lure me into some of them, you know, so it's a common relationship. So this day, Manila said he has shoes, he gives to the homeless and stuff. So I contacted him immediately because one of my challenges is shoes and stuff. I said I'm homeless on the street, please help me. And he didn't help me, he didn't respond. Then all of a sudden, around 2021, Eric Adam won the mayorship in December. So I came here to by Atlantic Avenue and the basketball stadium. And all of a sudden, I was trying to connect my phone, you know, because I just bought a phone at Target store. And the Simple Mobile told me, I think it's called Simple Mobile, I don't remember the carrier I was calling. They told me, no, you know, Target store didn't properly activate your phone, you can't connect, you know. I was like, but while I was shopping in that 2021, the guy, the Black American guy, told me he has activated it for me. And I said, no, you know, they said the phone is not properly activated. I think they said even the phone doesn't even show that I bought it in the store. They said for some reason the phone doesn't show it's been sold. I'm like, why would he do that? I said I paid him money and he sold me the phone, but he told me it was too late, I can't activate the phone, I should just go and call 800 number. So I was like, you know, I said, but he did use the scanner to scan it and gave me a receipt, you know. So and the store said, you know, and the Simple Mobile, I believe it's single, it's not Simple Mobile or single, I believe it's Simple Mobile. They told me, you know, the phone in their system doesn't even show sold. I'm like, somebody must have, after I left the store, somebody must have must have undo whatever receipt I paid, you know. And I'm like, you know, definitely the store must have computer archive, because stores have 6 years statute of limitation to keep their business record and to show I bought a simple mobile phone, and if it was later, somebody later undo the receipt in their computer system, I guess it will show, But I did call Simple Mobile and I gave them the phone serial number, and they told me in their system it shows the phone hasn't been sold. So they said I have to take it back to the store, and the store should issue me a proper receipt again and put it in the system that's been sold. So so everything I'm saying can be verified. If I'm able to sue Simple Mobile within 6 years, it will show. I was trying to activate the phone, and they told me in their system it doesn't show the phone was sold to me properly. So this Black American gang have been trying to get me killed, and I was using the bathroom last month also. Somebody claimed, a Black American called the police and said I stole the phone, and the police won't let him identify me, and they came into the bathroom on November 14, 2025. And stormed the bathroom, says a Black American said I stole the phone. And I'm like, I just got into the train station, swiped my card, and went into the bathroom. I said, check the camera records. I didn't have any interaction with this Black American. And if somebody's phone is stolen, the person would have been raising a commotion. I said there was no commotion or stuff. I said the only commotion was the janitor came into the bathroom and she was pretending to be mopping, and she was telling me, you gotta hurry up and leave. There's a long line waiting. And she always says that time I use the bathroom. And there won't be any longer. I said that's why I quickly came out of the bathroom to see if there's a long line, because I saw there was no long line. There was an empty store next to me. So I threatened the judge. I said, I'm going to, as soon as I finish using the bathroom, I'm going to call the police on you, because I'm able to. I recorded that there's no long line, and I recorded you telling me there's a long line. I have to hurry up and leave, and that you are going to call the police on me, that I'm blocking the way. And soon after I threatened the janitor. Then this police came and said the Black American said you just stole the phone. I said, I was like, the MTA CEO said he's going to be arresting all the homeless through lies. He told the New York Post, his name is John Oliver, he told the New York Post in early this year that he has a box of tricks to make sure the homeless are removed and gone for good. And I heard they've been framing people up as mentally ill and go and lock them in a psychiatric facility. The mayor, Eric Adam, is a Black American, is helping facilitate that, because that was how my mother died. Her dress framed as crazy, and why they were trying to commit her in the psych ward. While my mother was being treated for her disease in 2015 in Bellevue Hospital, they killed her. They overpowered her. The hospital removed her from life support and a breathing machine in the ICU and was transferring her to the psych ward wrongfully. Even though my mother wasn't crazy, my mother was talking to me on the phone that the daughters came all the way from Pennsylvania and was trolling her in the hospital. And since then, the hospital has been acting funny towards her. Like the hospital wants to lock her up in the mental ward. And so they killed my mother that way. So they throw my mother to death, and they've been hiring Black Americans to throw me to death. And part of the killing ritual, I guess, is to throw me to death. I bought a phone, at Target store in 2021, and I paid the store worker money, and it was so rude towards a Black American. He said the store's about to close in 5 minutes. I can't activate the phone for you, but yes, your receipt. He did give me a receipt. And so when I tried to activate the phone, so around that 2021 December, I was outside late at night and I was trying to activate the phone near the Barclays Stadium, Net Stadium. I was trying to activate the phone, and the Simple Mobile, I believe it's Simple Mobile, told me we can't activate this phone because it shows it as, I give them the serial number of the phone, IME number, I believe. I told them we can't activate this phone because this phone doesn't show it's been sold in the store, so you take it back to the store and the store can issue a receipt. I was like, and I noticed at that time also, anytime I'm talking on my phone, calling lawyers, as soon as my daughters killed my mother, as soon as I'm talking on the phone with lawyers, I would get jumped. There was this time in Harlem, I was in Morningside Park, and I was talking on the phone, with lawyers about my mother's death. All of a sudden, a Black American kids attacked me from behind, hit me in the head. So I brought out my camera to record. They all ran away, and only one was left. And he was apologizing. The one was left was chubby guy. He looks like every Ghana, you know. He was a boy, young boy. So I said, why did y'all do that? And it was like, it's not him, it's his friends. So I asked him, what school do you go to? He told me the name of school. So I called 911. And there's a police camera in that point that was recording everything. So the police eventually fled before the police arrived. So I saved that video on my Google Drive. So that video is still in my Google Drive archive. And I told the police, I called 911, I explained everything. That some kids just jumped me. They told me the name of their school. It's blah, blah, blah. I put everything in the 911 system. This was around 2016. My mother just been killed. And I was talking to a lawyer that day on the phone. And some kids hit me from behind. Like they don't want me to call a lawyer. So I'm like, who's giving these kids my information? I know that time I'm trying to call a lawyer, I will get jumped. So apparently this Black American gang is getting my surveillance, GPS surveillance from the FBI, because I've been in immigration surveillance and FBI surveillance since my mother brought me in 2000, and the immigration arrested by JFK Airport, Queens, New York, said there's something wrong with my visa, and they put me on FBI surveillance, put me in prison. I was finally released, and my case got completed 8 years later. But they said once they put you on FBI surveillance as an immigrant, you forever remain on FBI surveillance. So I guess some FBI agents are corrupt and will sell your information to any criminals that may want to use it. So they're selling my information to Black American gangs, and they've killed my mother, using my mother's daughters to poison her and kill her in the hospital. And I guess the next step was to kill me. So they hired me jobs. I required the boy that his gang jumped me in Harlem. And I saved some of the video in my Google Drive. And when the police arrived, they told me they're not going to go to the boys' school to arrest them. They said it's my fault that this park is very dangerous. It's for criminals. I said, I'm calling my lawyer in the park around 1 p.m. I said, no, you don't even come to this park anymore. So the park is reserved for criminals. This is their gang. And you're in their territory, so they can do whatever. So you're even lucky they didn't kill you. Since sometimes they kill people in this park. I'm like, you police officers will say this, that little kids can participate in gang killing. They were like, sorry, we can't help you. And they left me. I said, but don't come back to this park, because the next time they'll kill you. So the police also tried to scare me, because I always go to the park to make phone calls, at that time. Because I had a storage around that area called extra space storage. But I noticed when I'm in my storage making phone calls, some Black Americans will jump me. Take care of that storage, because I will leave my door open. The rule says when you're in your storage, don't close the door. So I will leave my door open, and I know some Black Americans will say, no, you can't bring your storage and leave your door open. It's restricting our movement. I'm like, the storage has multiple always. So we're trying to walk past. I said, can use another walkway, because the storage has, multiple walkway. So if somebody's door is open, I will leave my door open like this, and you can't go through the walkway here. There's another walkway behind. You can use. But I know we want to use the walkway in front of your door, and and they will try to jump me. Because anytime I'm making a phone call to lawyers, that gang will invade the extra space storage, and the extra space storage, disable their password, because normally only people that have passwords should enter the storage. And I noticed they will disable the password so anybody can come in. So street gangs can come in and jump me. And so I called the 800 number of the extra space. I said, look, your security is compromised. The storage workers also always bully me, don't let me use the bathroom. And I said, you have to, re-enable your password system so nobody can come from the street and take the elevator and come up and jump me. And soon the storage auctioned off all my property without telling me, and stole a lot of the evidence I had, sold it off. Like when my mother would tell me I was about to kill her, I would record my mother with my tablet, with my phone. So I put all those tablets in my storage and just sold everything behind my back. During COVID, they didn't send me the proper notice. They sent. I told the storage I'm homeless, so they should only send any notice to me, to my email. And as a Nigerian church, my mother's daughter was part of Witness. I'd contacted them to pay my storage fees. And the person that got to pay my storage fees, and the church didn't pay the storage fees. So and my storage didn't tell me I was owing money. Each time I called them, they would tell me, we're not, where they told me because of the COVID, they were giving all their customers time off. They're not really requiring payment. So they kept me under false assumption. And all of a sudden, I called them again to ask them, have you started resuming payment? Because she said, you were giving customers time off because of COVID, you weren't really requiring payment. And they asked me, what's my storage number? I told them. And they told me that storage is not in use right now. I'm like, what do you mean it's not in use? They said it's been auctioned off. I said, how come you didn't tell me? They said, yeah, we sent the letter to your old address. I said, I have it in the system that my old address, I'm no longer there, I'm homeless, and my email is what you normally use. They said, well, we sent the notice to your old address. So they stole everything behind my back. The Nigerian church witness also set it up, because I had a lot of evidence against my mother's daughter. I don't know, Bolanle, that she killed my mother, because my mother was telling me, anytime my mother goes to Pittsburgh and comes back to New York and sees me, my mother will be talking, so I'll be recording with my tablet, recording. So I saved that tablet in my dad's church, and the Winners Church, I contacted them to help me. I told them my mother's daughter just killed my mother. She's part of the Winners Church. I said I need help paying for my storage. And the Winners Church pretended, we're going to pay your storage, all your storage bills. I thought they were helping me pay. I didn't know they were just getting me comfortable so that they could get the storage to steal all my evidence, auction off my stuff, so my mother's daughters wouldn't ever go to prison. I don't know how much you bribed them with, but my mother said she has a feeling that daughter is also into life insurance policy scheme. And life insurance policy can go into millions. My mother said that daughter was trying to kill her for a life insurance policy scheme, because she said that daughter was talking to somebody that my mother was suspicious of, was into life insurance policy scheme. That person's family had just died around that time also. And my mother said that person is a very dishonest person. And my mother was wondering, and that person told my mother that as soon as their own family member died, they got paid by life insurance policy. So my mother said, when she told her daughter that person is acting suspicious, saying their family member died and they got insurance policy paid. So my mother said that Bolanle started showing interest in that person, started calling that person on the phone. And my mother said that Bolanle didn't like that person before. All of a sudden, that person now became that Bolanle's friend. So my mother was saying that Bolanle is really money hungry. So why would you start moving close to somebody after my mother tells her this person is dangerous, this person is always lying, and this person just told her their wife died and they got life insurance policy payment. As soon as this Bolanle found out this person now has money, this Bolanle will always call the person, talk on the phone with the person. At that time, my mother was living with that Bolanle, and she was, and my mother would be listening to Bolanle talk to this person on the speakerphone, so my mother can hear, and would be laughing with the person, And my mother said that just scared her to the bone. That why would you befriend somebody my mother suspects a killer? And my mother started noticing was getting poisoned, that this Bolanle was just horrifying my mother, giving her signs that you're also going to be killed soon. You better get away from me. And they said this Bolanle would tell my mother that she doesn't even want my mother to live in Pennsylvania with her, that she has to go. Even though this Bolanle has a whole house to herself, she bought a whole house, she doesn't have kids. So my mother was like, she doesn't want to come back to New York, because she marched for Eric Garner. The storage, they killed Eric Garner near my mother's shelter in Staten Island. So the shelter has been abusive to my mother. It's like this police took a secret recording of the people that marched, and they were going afterwards to bother these people. So the shelter kicked my mother out, says she has a high blood pressure and they don't want her to stay in the shelter. And that's how my mother went and stayed with her daughter. I said girls were abusing her, and they finally killed her within a year. And now they're putting me through the humiliation ritual where they have this Black American gang. I guess they're getting information from the FBI to locate me. Even that Bolanle, I see her here. Sometimes she comes here, all the way from Pittsburgh. I sometimes see her in Manhattan. And they having this gang jump me, and and they had a Black American woman rob me. I had a blanket, I used to cover my stuff, and they always try to embarrass me, because sometimes when I'm walking, my stuff can be falling on the floor, so I use the blanket to hold my stuff in place and tuck it in, and this Black American woman came on the train after, between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. and was talking to me 20 a.m. I said, can you stay away from me? And so she just took her number. I said, and she smelled like she might been up a wipe, which I understand. She was homeless also, and I understand sometimes you can't even find a tissue in the bathroom. That's why I buy multiple tissue. You know, 'cause I use my food stamp card to buy multiple tissue, cause you know that that thought of using the bathroom and not being able to wipe up scares me. So I'm like, I've been buying multiple tissue, so that I have a lot of tissue. I hope, yeah, this is one of the tissue I bought. There's several of them, so there's no way I'm making all this stuff. I bought multiple tissue. I hope nobody has stolen them. Okay, yeah. To show you, I've been paranoid buying tissue, cause you know it's crazy. My food stamp card will show. All I do is buy tissue, cause they hide tissue from me also to try to make me look crazy, you know. And they hide stuff from me. So I have multiple tissue. I'm not obsessed with tissue. I don't eat tissue, but this just in case. I have like 4 new tissues right now. You know, this just in case, cause that woman smelled like she didn't wipe herself also. You know, and I was trying to get away from it. You know, and she was pointing towards me. You know, and I was, so I didn't understand what she was saying. She was just mumbling. You know, so I did tell her. I've been rude to her. I said to get away from you know, and cause I saw she had just stole someone's blanket, and I was very afraid. I didn't want to be seen as soft, so that she would target me for robbery. But apparently she stole from me, and I know she kept coming back. I guess, and I felt, you know, she was just trying to, you know, wait till I fall asleep. You know, so they stopped me all night long. This Black American gang, they stopped me all night long. You know, the ABS provided my surveillance information. You know, and it was through my surveillance information. Anytime my mother talks to me, you know, give her location to daughters, you know, so that my daughters can catch up my mother also. You know, so this is what is going on. They turn immigration enforcement into a biological weapon, whereby once the immigration arrests you, you know, they will sell your information to Black American gangs, the FBI, and these Black American gangs can then have a field day torturing you as a Nigerian and kill your mother, you know. So this is just crazy. So this Damon Lillard. So I'll get to the part of the Damon Lillard. You know, in a second. You know, I was trying to find more tissue I bought, but I guess the two. Okay, yeah, that's another one. So I've been buying tissue like crazy. You know, I also use it for my hygiene. You know. So that's just the show. You know, I'm not making it up. They do deprive me of tissue, and I was hoping they would. I was thinking they would do that to everybody else also. So I always buy tissue. So in 2021, while I was making a phone call to the phone company, that if you need to connect my phone, I just bought from Target, and the phone company told me, you know, I'm thirsty. I need to drink something. You know, one second, I have this juice. I'm so thirsty. I've been talking. Quick drink. You know, so they have a mob of Black Americans all day long jumping one after the next. I'm afraid I'm going to get a heart attack. And some of them told me we're going to start killing you Africans. You're not going to get justice or nothing in America. I'm afraid I'm going to get a heart attack. So, you know, so since 3 a.m., they've been mobbing me, robbing me, mocking me, following me everywhere. So, you know, I'm so thirsty, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to be rude. You know, so this Damon Lillard also joining. He's a Black American basketball player. You know, so I noticed around December 2021, Eric Adams won the mayorship, and I've been campaigning against him on the trend that people shouldn't vote for him. He's part of the Black American mob that mocks me. You know, so I was trying to connect my phone to Simple Mobile, and the Simple Mobile said, sorry, we can't help you, because the store, Target store, I don't know if it's a Target store. You know, so, you know, the record shows this phone is not it's not registered as being sold. You know, so you have to take it back to the store and have them properly registered, issue a new receipt. So while I was talking, I know some black Americans came around and started kicking little girl kids, like teenagers. And my mother told me her daughter, Bolanle, used to kick people. As a matter of fact, she kicked somebody in Pennsylvania and they had to arrest her. She said she learned it while she was going to school in the Bronx. I used to kick my mother also, beat my mother up. She was very violent. So they had these black American kids. They were kicking me with their leg. So I started recording. And as I was running, I was calling 911 also. I know somebody was recording for them, was an older guy. He looked like he might be Jamaican. I was just like, can you please intervene? Do you know these kids? Why are they kicking me? And they were like, you bump into us. I was like, how can I bump into you? I'm talking on the phone booth. And they came from behind and bumped into me. I was like, what are you doing? And they started kicking me afterwards. I said, so apparently they were trying to distract me from registering my phone because they know I always use that phone to call lawyers to try to get my mother's daughters arrested. So they chased me away from the phone booth, chased me across the street. And so I was here like talking on the phone, to the simple mobiles and can you please call my phone and say, your phone shows it's not registered. And they started kicking me. So I ran like it was the expressway near the Atlantic Avenue Barclays Stadium, basketball stadium. And cars were swerving. So I ran into a store and I hid in the store and the kids brought a metal pipe and they were smashing the window of the store. The white guy called 911. So the black American kids are trying to kill an African inside in the store and the police finally came. So while those kids were chasing me around, I called 911 also, and I was saying some black American kids are trying to kill me. I don't know who sent them, they're kicking me. And they shouted, we're not black Americans, we're Trinidad. We're from Trinidad. So I was like, but they had black American accent. So, so I was like, okay, wow, this is very interesting. My mother's daughter was born in America also, she has a black American accent. Bolanle, and she's like a first generation Nigerian American. So they hired a first generation Trinidadian American to kick me, and they were using their leg to remind me of this Bolanle. I guess they were just trying to traumatize me for the holidays. Every holidays like this, they try to make me sad and depressed. And they say, go kill yourself, please. I guess so they can win the inheritance money and stuff. So they do their Christmas ritual, and then the police came, and the store owner said, some kids chased this person into the store, and said they want the police report, and the police were doing like this to the store. So I told the police, you don't understand what he's saying. He said it's a police report. I need the police report. And he told me, no, when I give the police report, you go away, and they told the kids to go away. So the police was helping them cover up. So this gang is bribing the police to not take any action, and the store owner was in shock, and they told the kids to go, and I recorded the whole ordeal. And soon after one, I went on Instagram, and this Demon Lila posted a creepy message, say congratulations, Thunder Lake. I was like, that's not real English. So I had a Thunder VPN at that time, so apparently this Demon Lila must have access to my FBI surveillance, because I'm under FBI surveillance, and they must have shown I had a Thunder VPN, because I was noticing when I record videos, some of my videos will disappear. So I was reading, how to protect your, because I use public Wi-Fi, how to protect your information technology, how to protect your documents online and videos. And I read that having a VPN prevents hackers from hacking to your system. So I guess apparently the FBI uses a more sophisticated hacking tool. So my VPN called Thunder wasn't doing shit. So this Demon Lila was now mocking me after the Caribbean kid girl, the Caribbean American females kicked me like my mother don't like to kick people. My mother said she learned that Taekwondo in school. She always likes to kick people. So just to traumatize me and make me afraid and think the whole world is about to kill me and make me commit suicide, because my mother is dead, all my property has been stolen. The Nigerian church, my mother's daughter goes to a multi-billion-dollar Nigerian church, a Winners Church. They promised to help me, didn't help me, got my storage property stolen, and even they told me to stop coming to church, so you always come for this stuff, high soul, and they also joined the humiliation ritual, and apparently this brother is going to bribe all of them if I get killed, and she's able to cash in, and this a basketball player, Demalina, is also joining to further humiliate me after I got kicked in the leg, and he started saying, congratulations, thunder leg, and at that time I used to use the Thunder VPN. I was like, this is not real American English. And it was actually like it was congratulating a female basketball player. I was like, who called somebody Thunderleg? So I apparently knows I was following his account. I was able to adjust to taunt me for, to try to, So to show you, I had to turn everything. I removed the VPN. So this is a new phone I bought since then. So that's why it says apps I had previously. If I want to install it, it says choose apps I had previously that I want to install. So I went into the apps I've not yet installed on this new phone, and Thunder VPN is one of the apps I had before. I had TikTok also before. I had all of apps before, but I didn't install that Thunder VPN, even though it's just 6 megabytes. I was like, this Thunder VPN apparently is useless because the Manila is able to see my phone information and mock me. After some Caribbean just broken and almost killed me, because for something left the right, and they were recording, they had a Jamaican guy also recording as I was being kicked. So I guess they had to show the humiliation video to this Damon Lillard for him to pay them. I don't know why they wanted to watch me on video getting killed. I don't know if they plan to do a movie about me and claim that, they don't even know who was abusing me like this, but apparently, I was abused, to death. I hope I'm abused to death. And then it adds more. Then I noticed when I was a child, I used to write letters to Michael Jackson. I used to write letters to Michael Jackson saying I wanted to come to America, she sponsored me. I would send him a song when I was like 7 years old. And they used to send me the song, the letters back in Nigeria that Michael Jackson had just moved to a new house. I think that was the time he bought Neverland, right? I used to send the letter to his old house. So the United States Postal Service would send me the letter. So return to sender, the person had moved, changed the wrong address. So I guess now that I'm in America, somebody raided my house in Nigeria and found the cassette tape I used to send to Michael Jackson the letter. And now they're trying to kill me here and claim I came to America to become Michael Jackson, my dead cousin. My mother used to tell me I look like Michael Jackson when I was younger. So I was born a male, I'm not a woman, but I didn't come to America to become Michael Jackson. When I was a child, I used to write in letters. So apparently, so my mother's daughter, she changed her name since my mother was killed by her. She's now bearing Olayinka Arowo. Her last name was Olapopo, which is my last name. So and she was always, so I sent her a message before I blocked her. I sent her a message in 2021, say, can you please borrow me money? I'm on the street, I'm getting jumped and everything. And she was like, you're crazy, nobody's jumping you, go and get psychiatric help. I'm like, this is the way you killed my mother. You manipulated her to believe that she's crazy, told the hospital that she's crazy, and then she told me, today's my son's birthday, which is December 23rd, 2020. Today's my son's birthday. Wish you were doing well so you could have met him and know him. Shameful that your blood walking around here and you've never met him or seen him before. Praying for you, Lord. You know, so she's a real manipulator. The last time I saw this boy, Flora, she tried to hit me with a car. She hit me with a car. My mother kidnapped in 2020. So I'm not crazy avoiding her because I'm crazy. I'm avoiding her and her own child and everybody. I've never met any of her children. And I had to block her also. Because she ran me over with a car in 2001. You know. So as soon as my mother brought me here from Nigeria, immigration arrested me. Said there was something wrong with my visa. I was a minor child. So I finally got released from prison, but the case continued. So all of my mother's daughters, they didn't have any child. They all had college degrees. So my mother was telling them to help her with some money so she can take care of me. Because me and my mother was staying in a single room in New York City, Staten Island. And the landlord was saying they don't want 2 people in the room. So my mother was saying that if I was going to help her with money so she can rent a bigger apartment or buy a house. And the daughters told her, you dump me on the street. Now you don't have to take care of anybody. You know, in America, I always survive that the Mexicans don't have papers and they always find jobs. That I should go and find a job if I didn't have papers. You know, so my mother tricked me, told me to come with her to Pennsylvania for a single day, that she has something to do there. So I told I didn't realize my mother was going to take me to Pennsylvania that day. We left Staten Island and we were staying in a hotel because the landlord kicked us out. And I noticed my mother wouldn't go and rent a new place and we're paying like $50 a day in the hotel. You know, so I was telling my mother, like, this is very expensive. Why are you paying $50 a day hotel and you're working as a homemaker getting $6 an hour? So my mother was saying, you know, she's just tired of the way the landlord was saying they don't want us in a single room. And she said she's going to be in this hotel, pay $50 a day till she buys a house. So I was like, okay, your money's going to run out faster. Like, why can't we just rent a place? And she was like, no. So apparently, my mother wanted me to be homeless, to make it easy to evict me and dump me on the street. Because I was staying with my mother on Staten Island, and one day the landlord came and told me, I'm moving your mother to a new place because I don't want 2 people living in the room, but you are going to remain on the street and only your mother goes to the new place. So I told her I can't be on the street. I said, you know, I have an immigration case. I started crying. So my mother told the landlord, okay, that she has changed her heart, that, you know, you should let me go with her to the new place. And the landlord said, oh, hell no. So you came, and the landlord was telling my mother, so you came to me and said, you know, you want me to help you evict your child. And I said, okay, I will move you to a new place and we'll just leave your child on the street and lock the door, you know. So, and I started crying, so I don't want to be on the street. So the landlord said, okay, you and your child then will be on the street together because I don't know why you're changing your mind now. You know, so my mother was like, okay, you know, if you don't let us back into our old apartment room, then me and my mother would check into a hotel. And I noticed, you know, and I was telling my mother, let us rent a new place. She was like, no, we're going to be in this hotel. I'm like, it's so expensive, $50 a day. She was like, yeah, like, you know, she said she doesn't want to go through that kind of ordeal again, whereby the landlord will kick us out. You know, and she would just wait in the hotel till she's able to buy a house. And apparently my mother's daughters are told her, evict this person slowly, and you just dump them, you know, just rent a hotel and just disappear from the hotel, don't pay the bill, and the hotel would, because people don't really have tenancy rights in the hotel, the hotel will call the police on this person. I had an immigration case in 2001. So my mother thought, you know, she wanted to, you know, to evict me more humanely because she was afraid, you know, the police can just come and kill me because Diallo had just been killed. If she abandons me in the hotel and didn't pay the bill, so I guess so the other plan was for her to put me on a Greyhound bus. So this is my mother's other daughter, and she's been smiling after my mother got killed. And they didn't want to investigate how my mother got killed. So they're all in collusion. She lives in Nigeria that front end. You know. So you know. So that's why, you know. So in 2001, my mother's daughters all hatched a plan with my mother to kidnap me from New York and bring me to Pennsylvania so that they can then kill me. So my mother told, so me and my mother left the hotel. She told me I should accompany her. She had something to do in Manhattan. Then when we got to Manhattan, I saw her buying a Greyhound bus to Pittsburgh. So I told her, look, I'm not going to Pittsburgh with you, And she was like, we're going to come back real quick. We're just going for one day. She has something important to do. I was afraid she was trying to dump me in Pittsburgh. But I was afraid if I go back to the hotel, I won't be able to pay the bill. And the hotel will kick me out, because she had already checked us out of the hotel or something like that. And she made it look like we're going to check into a new hotel. But instead of checking into a new hotel, she bought a Greyhound bus in Manhattan when she told me to come with her to Manhattan. And was buying a bus ticket to Pittsburgh. I think I may be mistaken. I think she didn't really check us out of the hotel. But I was afraid to go to the hotel alone because I really don't know my way. My mother just got me from Nigeria. And I was afraid, what if she doesn't return to the hotel and the hotel kicks me out? So I tried to know I was safer with her, at least I would know what is really going on. So she tricked me, so I should come with to Pennsylvania with her real quick. And we're going to return the same day. So under that false premise, she bought the Greyhound bus ticket in Manhattan and we went to Pennsylvania together. And I noticed when we got to Pennsylvania, as soon as we got to our daughter's house, Flora and I came out of the house and they got into a car, so I quickly got into the car also. And after I said, no, you're not coming along. I said, no, and she kicked me out of the car. So as I was about to get out, she sped off and I fell on the floor and she ran me over with the car. She was driving in like a red car or something like that. 636 Industry Street, Pittsburgh, PA, 15210. And people outside was like watching, it was like a summer day. Like, was this a movie? Then Balale, my mother's other daughter, was there also, and she called 911. And they lied on me that I was crazy. And she lied on me that I was crazy. I was attacking them with a weapon. And the police came and moved me to the psych ward. So I told the psychiatric hospital, Mercy Hospital, Pittsburgh, that look, I'm not crazy, but I said my mother dumped me in Pennsylvania because I have an immigration case in New York, and she's trying to make me miss the immigration case by having me locked up with her daughters, having me locked up in a psychiatric hospital, so I could be ordered deported, and then the immigration can come and pick me up from Pennsylvania. And the hospital told me, no, we don't believe you. Your mother's daughter said you don't even have an immigration case. We don't believe your mother and her daughters would do this to their family members. So you're the family. You're just psychiatrically ill. Think you have an immigration case. So I told her I do have an immigration case. So I started calling my lawyer in New York. And my lawyer picked up the phone and he spoke with them. I do have an immigration case. And if I don't show up, they're going to order me deported. So the hospital was like, wow, we're so sorry that you really have a family crisis, that a mother and their daughter would try to hurt you and get you deported by getting you locked up in a psychiatric ward. So they released me, but they never called the police to arrest my mother or my mother's daughters in 2001. So I came back to New York and I started living with my mother again in New York, And 14 years later, my mother's daughter did it to my mother, framed her as crazy, came to New York from my school as my mother was getting treated for heart disease in the hospital and got her killed. If that Mercy Hospital had arrested them for framing me up as crazy in Pittsburgh, they wouldn't have been able to do it to my mother 14 years. They wouldn't have been able to do it to my mother 14 years later. So it's a whole lot of mess. So when this Lanyinka, her name is Flora really, Flora Olabokun, but she's been changing her name. Since she killed my mother, she's now has a new identity. I don't know if she's planning to escape town or what. So she said December 23rd is her son's birthday. Wish you were doing well. She always tried to imply I'm mentally ill. So you could have met him and know him. Shameful that your blood walking around here. Your blood. Look at her language. Around here, and you have never met him or seen him before. And for some reason, she's been trying to connect me with her children. She always tells me, I never met any of her children. Because like, if you could. So I blocked her finally. Because I was telling her, I'm on the street, I'm getting jumped. If she can borrow me money. She killed my mother with her other daughter, with her sister, And she was like, she doesn't have any money. So I should go to psychiatric care. And like, the same way you killed my mother, she was trying to get her psychiatric care and you killed her. You still want to use this killer method against me also. And she was like, that's what you need. That's what you need, And she was saying, shameful, wish you were doing well. I said, why are you trying to manipulate you to craziness? They said there's a girl in Massachusetts. She's a white girl. She killed her boyfriend that way also. Say, both her boyfriend and her are mentally ill. They met in a psychiatric ward. And she kept telling the boyfriend, your depression is not going to get better. Kill yourself. And the boyfriend committed suicide. And when they tried to arrest her, she was like, you know what? Freedom of speech, damn it. You didn't have to follow her advice. And they said, he was a grown person. And she claims she's mentally ill. But they were able to charge her with some less charge than murder. So trying to manipulate somebody into thinking they're sick and they need to seek help. Even I'm not crazy, I'm not sick. I'm just homeless on the street, and my mother used to help me, and they killed my mother. And it's funny, she said our son's birthday is 23rd, December 23rd. Because again, they attacked me on July 23rd and got the police to arrest me and take me to the psych ward. I'm about to play the video. So I guess, I can't believe they can kill me. She showed me the picture of our son. That son she's been trying to get me to meet, and I've never met him ever before. She showed me the picture of, and the son kind of look like, he's very light skinned, and he kind of looks like Michael Jackson, I would think. And my mother said when I was younger I looked like Michael Jackson. So I'm thinking they are trying to kill me, and then have the son star in a Michael Jackson movie. Say I came into America to become Michael Jackson, but I died. But here's somebody that can play me in a movie and win money for the Michael Jackson estate. Because they said anything connected to Michael Jackson makes a lot of money. Since he died, royalties have been coming to his estate $2 billion and more. They said now that his own cousin, his own nephew, and and it's very funny. I've been suspecting they've been trying to kill me since 2019. So that I guess my mother's daughter is a nephew to me, son. And they said Michael Jackson, they did a movie also featuring his nephew as him. So I don't know if the Michael Jackson family is aware, and they're also into this idea, because it's kind of creepy that my mother's daughter, Flora's son, I saw his picture and it kind of looked like Michael Jackson. A little bit, I don't know. My mother said when I was younger, I looked like Michael Jackson also. And he's lighter skin and darker skin. So I was set up again in 2019. And the police came and arrested me, took me to the psych ward. And they diagnosed on July 20, 2019. And that date is significant because apparently that's my mother's daughter's son, Flora's son's. I guess that would be my nephew. I don't really know English that well. The mother's daughter's son. I guess that's my nephew. That's Flora's son's birthday. December 23rd, number 23. So I guess they're trying to kill me. I guess they're trying to kill me, and they chose that 23rd to attack me, beat me up on the street, and have the police arrest me, take me to psych ward. So in case to send this message to law enforcement that we didn't kill this person out of brutality, we killed this person to make Michael Jackson more popular, and this person is just a Nigerian, Michael Jackson is an American. So please mess up the investigation and let us walk free. This is promoting American market. So this is a genocidal gang trying to appeal to the law enforcement to mess up the investigation, and I guess to send a signal to the law enforcement. They tried to kill me on the 23rd. And my birthday is July. They tried to kill me July 23rd. So there are black Americans trying to kill Africans, and they're trying to kill me also. Because when I was young, people used to tell me I look like Michael Jackson, and they believe they can now make a movie about me. You know, and maybe the whole world will watch it. Say, oh, an African came to America to become a Jackson and I got killed by the police or whoever, got that involved. And now the nephew is acting in the movie, and the nephew also looks like Michael Jackson. Like, oh wow, you know, what a coincidence, what a tragedy. And I think the whole world will watch it because I have cassette tape I used to send to Michael Jackson when I was a kid, recording songs for him. And maybe have my nephew sing that song. And people like, oh wow, what a coincidence, what a coincidence. You know, and I make money. And it's kind of weird the Michael Jackson family also chose their own nephew, chose Michael Jackson's nephew to star in the movie against him. So this is weird. You know, I don't know if this is a Black American collusion that steps into Hollywood. So this is like a genocide made in America. I'm afraid for my life. I'm getting jumped by Black American women. A woman came into the bathroom and naked herself. I said, miss, you gotta cover yourself up. I don't want a little kid to come into the bathroom and the parents go and call the police, say there's somebody that naked, they're black, and then you are gone already and the police kills me. I said, look, we heard, you know, I said, don't send it for mistake killing, you know, because white people bring their children into the bathroom also. And, you know, I said, a child just left the bathroom and the child came into the bathroom crying. The child said, you know, I was so scared, like, what is happening to this child? You know, and the mother was faking a Nigerian accent, you know, and then she then used an American accent. Sometimes they accuse me of faking an American accent also. Then another woman came in there and naked herself in the hallway. I said, please go back into the toilet and cover herself. She's like, I ain't got to do nothing. And you need to stop telling me what to do. I said, look, don't try to set me up because anybody can come here and go and call the police. And then you have disappeared. So they have a Black American mob. And as soon as I got here also, some of the security guy was laughing. They said, that's right. And I look, what are they talking about? My blanket I used to cover myself in the cold is removed. So they want to kill me through enemies and then go and record a movie. Said I came here to become Michael Jackson, but I died. And my mother's daughter's son that looks like Michael Jackson, you know, never started the movie. You know, maybe the Michael Jackson family is also with the idea, because they believe it will make Michael Jackson estate money. Because they said apparently they did a movie about Michael Jackson using his nephew, like setting the stage so that when I'm killed also they can claim, okay, this person came to America to become Michael Jackson but got killed, and now the nephew's going to stare us down, and they will say, oh wow, you know. And I used to say stuff like, you know, that, you know, Michael Jackson before he died chose my birthday, July 8th, as the day for his concert in England. Because when I got to America, my mother used to tell me, you know, when you were young, you used to ride to Michael Jackson, but now you came to America, you didn't come to Jackson anymore. Like, you know, I have an immigration case, I don't even have time for this right now. And Michael Jackson before he died, say God told him my birthday, July 8th, is the day for him to do his last concert in England. And I also have British ancestry. One of my last names is McCarthy from my father's side. You know, so I think some of the people may think it's a spiritual thing that, you know, I have to be killed and because I'm a movie made about me, I make money for the Michael Jackson. So this is a cult. Nobody needs to be killed to make money for Michael Jackson. So a lot of Black Americans are joining it, you know. And also Michael Jackson sang a song, They Don't Care About Us, about police brutality. And I was singing, he's trying to fulfill a prophecy. It was like, kill me. You know, it was like, they should kill him, do him. I don't mean kill me. And that was the song. They don't really care about us, you know. You know. You know. So I guess to get the law enforcement to not properly investigate, this gang attacked me on July 23rd, 2019. I was begging for money on Bay Ridge Avenue and 4th Avenue, and suddenly a guy came and slapped me in the head. Before police came, I said, what are you doing? Why are you slapping my head? And he walked away. Then the police surrounded me. I didn't know I was being set up. And the voice said, you know, we heard you was fighting with somebody. I didn't fight, it was just a verbal altercation. So the guy came and slapped me in the head. You know, and Michael Jackson also, I heard at one point, he was touching his hair because he was doing a Pepsi commercial, and his hair burnt and stuff. And the guy came and slapped me in the head, like grooming me to be killed so the Michael Jackson movie can go on. and my nephew can star in the movie. This was 2019, and recently this year, they said the Michael Jackson family decided to use his nephew. There's a whole lot of people around the world that look like Michael Jackson, but decided to use his nephew instead, which is kind of weird because usually they would sometimes like to use outsiders to star something, whether it's Whitney Houston, whether it's, I don't know, I don't really watch a lot of Hollywood movies, but I think that would be the first time. Maybe when I say Elvis Presley, I think they will usually use outsiders, not a family member, to star as the person. You know, so I'm going to play you the video of the guy that came to jump me on the 23rd, my mother's daughter's birthday. His name, what's his name again? Oh my goodness, I've never met him before, so I don't know. It doesn't mean I'm crazy because I don't know his name. What's his name again? Our son's, I don't know his son's name, I'm so sorry. You know, she tried to keep it that Florence, I don't know. You know, so to get that boy to star as me. So the guy came and slapped me in the head on the 23rd of July, and then the police surrounded me afterwards. So we heard you were fighting. So I said I wasn't fighting. I was begging for money. And the guy came from behind and slapped me there. I said, check the police camera across the street. And instead they knocked me down on the ground. And they were choking me, putting their nail on my neck. And I couldn't breathe. And people were screaming, you're killing this person. You know. And they took me to the psychiatric ward, where they diagnosed me with all kind of mental illnesses as depressed. And I heard depressed, bipolar, violence. And you know, I had to call the Daily News. You know. So they're trying to kill me to make a Michael Jackson movie. This is barbaric. And I believe the Michael Jackson family may be aware because they also choose Michael Jackson's nephew to star as him. So apparently, and this Flora has been trying to get me to meet her son. I just want you to meet my son. I'm like, I don't have any interest in meeting your son. You try to run me over with a car. I don't know what kind of monster you raised. I don't want the son to pull out a gun and shoot me. Because my mother was telling me that the father of that son is a black American, he's a US soldier, and that son was very unruly towards my mother. And I saw the son did a post on Instagram with his hand pointed like a gun. I was like, how could a little kid, especially my mother is very strict, you know. I said, how could my mother raise her daughter to have a kid? The kid was still in high school and did it sound like a gun, you know. So my mother said that his black American father is a soldier, and he said he's trained that kid to be very vicious. And this lawyer was trying to say, you gotta meet this kid. So she was trying to form a relationship between me and the kid. So the kid can then claim, and star in the Michael Jackson movie as me, and claim, I would have, I gave the blessing, I said, today's my son's birthday, 23rd of December. Wish you were doing well. Wish you were doing well. Like, she always implies I'm mentally ill. That's why I'm almost. I was telling her, can you please borrow me money? This same Flora, my mother won a lawsuit money, because there was lead in the house in Brooklyn. And when my mother went to Nigeria, she stole the money from my mother's bank account. The money was like $100,000. Around 1990, and my mother said the money may have grown to like $400,000. I wouldn't share the money with my mother anymore. I went and got married, and my mother died homeless because the police came and took me to my mother's home on Staten Island. And so this is why I don't talk with my mother's daughters. So apparently they just think all I'm worth is a paycheck, and they're having a black American mob try to kill me. And this black American mayor, Ricardo, is also joining in and acting as an accessory to terror, saying the police should focus on homeless and be locking us up in the mental ward. And every night the police comes and inspect us for mental illness, and they always try to lock them in the mental ward. Say, I said, why try to manipulate people to becoming crazy? I said, you just keep praying. And even the police came into the bathroom November 14, 2025, knocked me on the grass and I stole something, and they told me they want to put me in the mental ward. So, this is crazy. So please, worldwide, donate money to me. And on the, while I was While I was on the train, a black American woman stole my blanket. I always had it under that blanket. So they want to kill me. It's a genocidal black American mob. Some of them are basketball players like Damon Lillard. Some of them are, I don't know if the Michael Jackson family is fully involved, but apparently they may be showing their blessing by having Michael Jackson's nephew star in a movie this year about him. My mother has been trying to get me killed since 2019 and have my nephew star in the movie and claim that I'm from Nigeria. I came to America to become Michael Jackson and I died. So there's a black American mob trying to kill me. My mother said when I was still a male, I'm not a woman, said I look like Michael Jackson when I was a child. So please worldwide donate money to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, and the law enforcement here thinking it's going to make money for America, and they don't give a damn about me. And they had this gang jump me. July 23rd, slap me in the head, and they called the police on me to arrest me. And I guess they chose that date, 23rd, so as to tell the police, if any police wants to investigate it further, say chill out. This is to make America great again. We're just trying to do a movie and we needed to kill this African to bring attention, So they feel, we Africans are not going to have any, we're not worth much, and killing me in savagery would, help push the Michael Jackson estate. So the Africans joining with black Americans to kill Africans, the Nigerian embassy wouldn't happen either. I guess they're all waiting for the cut from the movie. So this is bloody genocide, So the woman that came to rob me looks like her. Excuse me, miss, were you on the F train with me? That was you on the F train? You're not going to admit to nothing? You're back on going to an F train. Where's my blanket? Hello? Did you steal my blanket? You're not going to admit to nothing? She wouldn't talk to me earlier. And she was, Miss, did you steal my blanket? You with the hoodie on, with the purple pants? Hello, you're touching your hair. Did you steal my blanket? Because I met you here at 3 a.m. in the morning. You came on the F train with me, and you were menacing me. Do you speak English? So that's her. So they're hiring all kinds of mentally retarded to rob me or something. I said, just for me to die of frustration, of heart attack. And they will keep menacing me all day long, laughing, So this is a ritual. There's a black American genocidal gang. They are robbing me. This woman stole my blanket early this morning and she came back to taunt me again. So I'm a Nigerian. Please donate money to me. Black Americans are jumping me, robbing me. I'm about to have a heart attack. This is genocide. This is genocide. I'm about to have a heart attack. There are black Americans robbing me. I'm a Nigerian. I've been getting robbed all day. My mother's been killed. Please donate to my Cash App so I can go to court. There's a camera in the MTA trains, F train. So I want to get a lawyer to subpoena the MTA to release the video of her robbing me and arrest her. She looked like she was smelling like she had people on her. And I was thinking maybe she had an accident, but there's no, usually they hide the tissue from the bathroom and they wanted me to be smelling like her. So I always buy extra tissue. This is why I have multiple tissue. I don't eat tissue. I have cookies I eat. I love cookies. And my first time part also, I love shoulders. I love food. I love great food. This is rice I bought. I haven't eaten this. So I don't eat tissue because they say I have a lot of cookies I eat. So they try to make me look like I'm just crazy. So please donate to my Cash App. There's a black American gang trying to kill me as a Nigerian. And they were trying to make a Michael Jackson movie out of me. Because I used to write songs to Michael Jackson when I was younger. And he never got any of those songs. But he said God told him to do his final concert on July 8th, which is my birthday. And they decided to attack me on July 23rd. My mother's daughter's birthday, his son's birthday, his last name is Ayinde. I don't remember his first name anymore. I never met him in person. It's on December 23rd. So they stole my green card that day and they mobilized me. I can't go to work anymore. So they bribed the police. The black American basketball player, Damon Lillard, is also involved. And he also joins in taunting me. There's a black American gang that was kicking me. In December 21, as soon as I got won the mayorship, and the police wouldn't arrest them, won't give a police report. They smashed the window to a white guy's store. It was like a Jewish white guy, some black Americans who like Jews either. You know, they're in Atlantic Avenue. And since then, anytime I come to this neighborhood, the black Americans will send kids to punch me. And they said this Spanish guy was sitting around the Target store also. And that same guy stabbed him dead. And his name is Michael Hernandez. And Brooklyn, they have to do something about this. You know, there's a black American gang mobbing Africans. And this is like sex trafficking. You know, and sometimes a black American guy took me home on the train and raped me also. You know, during COVID 2020 to 2024, they lock up on the bathroom in the train station. So I always tried to train out train back and forth. And one day while it was snowing, they kicked me out of the train because at that time they used to lock the train up at 12 minutes. So it was still 11 p.m. and they told me to leave on 95th Street. As soon as I got outside, this black American guy came by in the snow and I was begging for money. And he told me I should come with him, he's going to buy me food. And he brought me to the restaurant. And he asked me, am I a man or a woman? I said, I'm a transsexual. He told me, okay. He told me straight. I told him if I can come home with them, he said it's starting to gay and transsexual. So he just can house me. You know, I was like, I'm not looking for sex. He's like, he says he's not looking for sex either. So he just want to help me. When we got to his house on 95th Street on our train, Bay Ridge, he started saying he wanted to have sex, you know, with me and stuff. I told him, no. He kicked me out in the snow. I slipped and fell. And some empty workers were calling me, Home Depot. As I bashed my head on the floor. And I went and hid under the canopy for the rest of the snowstorm. It was a horrible snowstorm. So, you know, and so he lured me that was going to give me free housing or make me pay for the housing. And then he was demanding sex and abuse, not sexual harassment. And he was touching me sexually and stuff. You know, and I told him, no, I don't want sex. And he kicked me out in the snow. So like a year later, while I was riding out train, he came back again on the out train. You know, and he apologized, said sorry for what he did to me the last time. He said I should come back to his house. And I didn't have a bathroom to use because they lock up all the bathroom in the train station. You know. So I went with his house again, says, you know, he said, told me he's not going to have sex with me this time around. You know, I said, you know, he said sorry for the last time. And when we got to his house, he wanted to have sex with me again. So I told him, no, you told me you've changed, you're not going to. So, you know, so yeah, he pretended like, okay, it's not going to bother me for sex anymore. So I left my bag in his house. I told him I need to go outside real quick. I'll be right back. So I left my bags in his house. And I went outside. When I came back, I put my bag outside and locked the door. So I was knocking, and what he did is real grimy. Somebody could have stolen all my stuff. Like, you know, I don't even know if somebody had stole some of my stuff. I wanted to call the police on him, but I was afraid the police would just arrest me. That I was bothering him, I was crazy, the claim doesn't even know me. And who's this person? You know, this person is delusional. Because they misdiagnosed me as delusional. You know, when they arrested me in 2019, after my mother's daughter gang slapped me in the head. You know, so I was afraid to call the police. I was like, you know, I don't even have proof that I'm his tenant. So he evicted me again, wrongfully, after he told me I'm his tenant. You know, he just wants to help me. I could be paying me any money I have, little by little. And they put my stuff outside. You know, and I've been sitting in my other Bay Ridge area. The girls are enjoying also. So apparently, I guess the New York City wants me to marry a black American so they can make money off of any lawsuit I win. So they just see me as a cash machine to exploit. I guess they are the ones that bribe, you know, him. You know, I guess they're trying to lure me to marry him. I know that guy took me home also around that 2020 in the Bronx. I couldn't find a bathroom, so I was begging for on the train if they know where I can use the bathroom at. And they told me to go to the shelter. So I used to be in the shelter and I was abused there. Also, it was very violent with me. Near my mother, so we fled the shelter. So the guy, obviously, that came on the train so I could follow him home. As soon as we got to his house in the Bronx, he told me he wants to get married right away. I said, no, I'm not looking for marriage. He held me hostage to rape me. I finally called 911 days later. He told me if I dare escape, he has gangs and the police that will set me up and kill me on the street. You know, I escaped days later. And I called the police and the police came. I kicked me out of his house. And since then I've been on the street, the police have been trying to kill me. On November 14, 2025, the police came into the bathroom under false pretext. I kicked me out of the bathroom. You know, while I was using the bathroom. So anytime I'm using the bathroom, they always scare me, humiliate me. Today they brought a black American woman to the bathroom and she naked herself in the hallway. I'm like, miss, don't do this. The police always arrest me in the bathroom saying I did something of a lie. I said, if anybody comes to the bathroom and see you naked, they can run back outside and go and call the police. And by then you may be gone and it's me the police will arrest. And she's like, she don't care. She don't care. When it's happening, it's happening. I said, please don't set me up, to be killed. She was like, she's minding her business. She's naked on the hallway. I need to mind my business. I said, no. I'm like, the public bathroom is not a place for you to be naked. So some people need to mind their business. So she don't care. So they're telling black Americans to aggravate me to death. Aggravate me to death and kill me. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. And I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not looking for surrogacy with anyone. I'm not looking for any personal relationship. I'm not looking for any personal relationship with anyone. I'm just looking for non-conditional charitable assistance. My Cash App. So they're always trying to get me killed in the bathroom. They said this is how they handle gang. This is how they jump people in prison in America, the way they're using the bathroom. But they said the bathroom, you can then claim privacy rights with old evidences from being here in the court. Even any recording, they can, make it invoke privacy rights. So I was using the bathroom on November 14th and this woman told me, you gotta leave, I'm going to call the cops. I'm like, why are you lying? She was like, there's a long line. There wasn't no long line. Anytime I tried to use the bathroom, so I came out of the bathroom and I recorded there was no long line, there's an extra bathroom vacant. And soon after that, they brought the police, and the police went up another line. So somebody said I stole something, I was hiding in the bathroom. And they began beating me up in the bathroom and wanted to kill me. So they always try to kill me in the MTA bathroom. I spoke with the MTA president, Krishlo Dimitri. He told me to send me an email. I saw him on the street. He said, just after the talk, I'll be sending multiple emails. And when I meet him again, he'll tell me to send me more emails. And he will respond. So they're trying to kill me in the bathroom, set me up, stealing my stuff on the train. And a black American that was terrorizing people like this, he was using his gun to harass people. He's now serving life in prison. Because the law in America says any act of terrorism in the train, scaring people, or the transportation facility is life in prison. A Nigerian, they called me underwear bomber, was on a public plane. It was on a plane coming here from England to America. And he said he was trying to set the plane on fire through his underwear bomb. And it was only his underwear that exploded. He's now serving life in prison. His name is Motul or whatever, I can't remember his name. So please donate money to me. There's enough evidence. And I, as a Nigerian, I should get justice also. So later, this is when the police came into the bathroom. So I was required as there's extra bathroom space. Why is that janitor lying that I need to leave quickly? I said it was around 10 a.m. I said the bathroom was supposed to close at 12 p.m. So why should you hurry me up for? I said this is abuse. Nobody should be arrested when you're naked. It's sexual harassment. And they'll try to get me to close my anus by scaring me. I have diarrhea. Anytime I'm trying to use the bathroom, they'll bring the police, bring everybody to scare me, humiliate me. And so I could defecate on myself later. Because they close the bathroom early now. And they don't let me use it while it's open. So they have it, that's them bringing the police. And they will tell me, come out. So I'm still trying to use the bathroom. And they grab me, pick me up, choke me. So this is horror. They're choking me, they're police everywhere I go. They're mob. This one by Spanish. All of them say they're all from Venezuela. So they're using Venezuelan police, everybody beat me, slap me, hit me, rob me. You know, so it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. You know, in 2019, also my mother's daughters was joining me, trying them to kill me. The Michael Jackson movie has to be made, and they need to find some tragedy. You know, this is them choking me also on 23rd. So they're choking me. I don't want them to kill me totally. So please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. There's a Black American mob beating me up. Their police are joining in. Spanish police also joining in. So you can watch the video. And even Nike joined in. The Nike has posted ad. They posted an ad of a soccer player, you know, hitting the ball with his head, and in front of the train station. And so they posted an ad and said, "Do it again. Just do it." As soon as I go to the train station now, the police will try to arrest me. A Black American janitor will also call the police. He said, "My bag smells." You know, I said, "My bag smells in the toilet?" I said, "Yeah." You know, I threw out of the bathroom. And when I went there again, the janitor called the police again. Said somebody is doing drugs. They can smell drugs. And I was recording the people in the bathroom. I said, "Does anybody smell drugs?" They all said no. I said, "Look, they're lying." And the police pulled me out of the bathroom again. So they don't let me use the bathroom. They try to start a fight with me and I'm using the bathroom. So please go to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. There's a Black American gang jumping me, you know, before they kill me. You know, I'm not looking for love. I want to get them all arrested. And if the Michael Jackson families are aware about this, and also encouraging it by using their nephew to star as Michael Jackson, because, you know, that's kind of weird. You know, a lot of people who look like Michael Jackson, why would they use his nephew? When I was a child, my mother said I look like Michael Jackson. So some people are trying to kill me and use my nephew to star as me and say, "No, my nephew looks like Michael Jackson, I look like Michael Jackson." I was born a male, I'm not a woman. And the Michael Jackson family also used his nephew to star as him. So could the Michael Jackson family approve of me to be killed as a Nigerian so as to make a movie that I look like Michael Jackson, I was killed, and my nephew will play me just like Michael Jackson? His nephew's playing him and making like me and Michael Jackson are twins. He even said God told him to use my birthday. While he was alive, he doesn't know me personally, but he said God told him to use my birthday, July 8th, to do his last concert. But unfortunately, he died before then. You know, so this is weird. This is Hollywood gone genocidal. International Criminal Court, investigate this. Activists, Amnesty International, investigate this. Activists worldwide, please borrow me money so I can hide myself from this genocidal court. I'm not saying the Michael Jackson family is genocidal, but I need to investigate it. And I've been seeing my mother's daughter wearing all blue come around me, Palale. She's been following me around. I don't know who's giving out my surveillance information, and I'm getting jumped. And even the Nikes, they sponsor this Demon Lila. They say this Nike, they hate Africans because they say Africans sell counterfeit on the product and they're losing money. So I believe they want to start killing us as criminals. You know, and we're just going to kill you. So they are robbing me. Now if I go in the court, I have no blankets. Please go to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. There's a Black American gang attacking me. I'm about to have a heart attack. They rob me, you know, get the police to choke me. I'm a Nigerian. So please donate money to my money. And the Michael Jackson family will be aware, you know, because I look like Michael Jackson when I was a child. I was born a man, I'm not a woman. So they use their own nephew to star as Michael Jackson in the movie about to come out. And my mother's daughter has been trying to connect me with her son, who's my nephew. And I believe it looks like Michael Jackson also. His name is Aini Day, his last name. And I believe, you know, this is why the police is choking me and they want to kill me. And have the son, my nephew, star as me, trying to become Michael Jackson and dying in police hands like this. So, you know, to make a movie, they have to find something dramatic. And the person was choking me and said, and people have been telling me, "You're going to be tased in the bathroom, I'm going to lie against you." I guess to make a movie for people to watch, they need me to die with like taser or something serious. They just want me to die easy. They want me to die hard. You know, this is genocide. This is American genocide being sold to the world. This Trump is inciting it. I think he may be aware and he's been saying those Africans are garbage. They smell like garbage. You know, so I believe he's an entertainer. He knows Michael Jackson and he believes this would cause Hollywood to explode their money and they can make America great again. And, you know, everybody will just with money, money, money. And he's been saying, all I do is win, win, win. You know, he's been playing that song in his campaign. So he says he's been bringing money to America. So that, you know, so this is beyond immigration enforcement. This is holding people ransom. So they're trying to kill me because I look like Michael Jackson. I'm turning into a movie. America is sponsoring genocide. Black Americans are jumping me. Please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. I can't make this up. Nike is also involved. They've been putting ads. Say, just do it again. Anywhere I am at Talent Ferry, at the Penn Station, and people are calling the police on me. And also, they put an ad in the Penn Station saying you never win. And they had a basketball player, a female player, say, as she was holding the ball in her hand, and say, win this time around. Apparently they want me to sell my sperm to a basketball player, a female, and so she can produce a child. And they just want my life to be so filled with drama and adventure, so that could make the Michael Jackson movie great. So they're trying to force me to sell my sperm to a basketball player. Otherwise, they won't leave me alone. They'll kill me. So they say the more drama, the more the movie will sell. And they'll eventually kill me. I said, wow, this person is life so dramaful. Look at Michael Jackson. My mother used to say that. And that the nephew is Michael Jackson, and this is just a movie for Hollywood. So the Hollywood has gone genocidal, and they are trafficking migrants to kill as Michael Jackson. They stole my green card. The International Criminal Court investigate this. United Nations, you don't help me. I don't even trust you. They say you're controlled by the American government. But please investigate this. Please donate money to my Cash App so I can hide in the hotel room and so appear in court through video. They said the immigration is arresting immigrants and show up in court. Even if you have a status, they can just claim evaluate your status and arrest you and even kill you. So please donate to my Cash App. America is abusing immigrants. I look like Michael Jackson and they're trying to kill me and make a movie about me. I said as a child, so please don't kill me for my birth, my birth history or whatever. So, I was born a male. I look like Michael Jackson when I was a child and they're trying to kill me and make a Michael Jackson movie out of me. So the Hollywood has gone rogue and the world needs to eschew this and reprimand Hollywood and ask for a thorough investigation. All you cable stations worldwide that hear American movies, you need to take caution and have this investigated. Forced labor, they said Nike hires, I used to do it in college, I guess I heard about Nike hiring poor Chinese and giving them pennies to produce shoes. And the field we can exploit this Nigeria for Michael Jackson movie, this immigrants. And so this Nike, you've been slave trading immigrants in China to make your shoes, and now you want to sponsor slavery of Africans so that you wouldn't be able to pay for any damages in the future. You want to normalize slavery? No, you got it wrong, Nike. There's evidence to nail you. Lolita James had to investigate Nike. You also avoid me. You're the Black American prosecutor. Before my mother died, I reached out to you also. And you wouldn't help her and me when the police took her home. Eric Garner was going to help us. The police took him there. Alvin Bragg, you are the Black American prosecutor in Mahane. They always attack me in Mahane also. They attacked me on November 14, the battle, 2025. And D.A. Gonzalez in Brooklyn. A woman came into the bathroom naked. They're abusing kids. Any kid could have walked in and saw her naked. So there's a Black American mob taking the law to their hands and they've threatened me and Brooklyn, so we're going to kill you Africans. You're not going to get nothing. So please, and worldwide, donate money to my Cash App. If you're in America, donate money to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. Immigrant lives matter, African lives matter. So they always do a bathroom ritual to abuse me. They say even in their prisons, that's where you get back at somebody. If you don't like their history or whatever, like we Africans, they claim we sold their ancestors to slavery, and they're trying to hold me for ransom, and that's against the law. The law in New York says you can't use any type of surprise attack, ransom, hostage taking to, I guess some of these Black Americans, I believe if they start holding Africans for ransom, they can get reparation for the slave trade. They said the African government benefited from the slave trade, and holding people for ransom for whatever stupid, legal strategies they think they have, because they said they've not been successful for reparation, and they want to now use ransom taking. This is against the law, and genocide is against the law. They're using acts of genocide, and ransom is against the law, and they all need to be arrested.